Our special guest this morning, though, he was such a sensible little lad. You wouldn't see him dressed up in a load of meat.
No.
There he is. So there.
Yes, that's him there.
A little innocent little boy. Who would have thought he'd have grown up to be the Phil Collins? The very famous Phil Collins, yes, having sold over 100 million albums. Hey, did you have a big plan at that stage, Phil, did you think?
Yeah, I just had my, well, even at that stage I was playing drums, but I didn't really have, that was pre-Beatles then, so nobody knew what was going to happen next. I did have my little plan. I thought, I thought I'd join a pop group if I could, and then play in an, like a big band, show band, and then end my days in the orchestra pit in the West End, like, because at that time, just after that photograph, I was in Oliver, and I used to go home on the same train as those guys, in the orchestra pit, and I just thought that was where I'd be.
How did you get into Motown then? Because the new album's sort of a homage to Motown. Was there much of it in sort of Chiswick, West London, when you were growing up?
Yeah, well, the radio was different, wasn't it? In those days, you could put on the radio and listen to things, diverse things, all on one channel. Yes, when I was pretty esoteric. When I was 13 years old, I was buying the Beatles, obviously, but I was buying Motown records, Atlantic, they had a very distinctive sound. I bought John Coltrane. I was listening to sort of these drummers. We listened to other drummers and Buddy Rich and people like that. So my taste was really across the board. Yeah. And Motown was something that just seemed to speak to me, very loudly. And I've always wanted to sing these songs. I never had a chance. So. Yeah.
You did have a few sort of worries, though, getting back in the studio as well, because I know you had a few problems with nerves and everything else, obviously playing drums for many years.
Something's happened with my left hand, on the Genesis reunion tour, actually, the ends of my fingers started getting numb, and I couldn't hold on to the sticks sometimes late, like towards the end of the show. And I just thought it was natural. I thought it was because it was
it's a horrifying feeling, obviously. Well, for anybody, but if you're a drummer, then.
Well, it is when you've got 40,000 people and you can't, and you're playing the drums and you're, supplying the rhythm, as it were. But anyway, I had an operation. I had an MRI and an operation, and there was lots of things wrong with my neck, and then there was lots of things wrong with my left arm, and we've sorted them out. And I'm just going to wait. At the moment, I can't play. But cutting a loaf of bread and cutting a bit of cheese is even that is.
Yeah, the basic everyday things.
The basic everyday things actually is far more important to me. I have to warn everybody to stand back. He's cutting bread. Look out! He's cutting bread. He's got a knife in his hand.
We can have a look at one of the tracks off your album. It's a Temptations number. Let's see this.
Ooh, girl, why you wanna make me blue? Make me blue. Oh girl, why can't you be true? Can't be true. The way you treat it just isn't fair. You make it so plain, you just don't care. You have a ball around my time.
Which camera for that?
Love that. What were you just saying there, Phil?
Yeah, well, we were lucky, I wrote to the Funk Brothers, who are the name of the band. They called themselves the Funk Brothers, that played on the original records. And a few of them are still alive. Sadly, most of them have passed on, but we had 3 guys that came in that played on the original records, and that was just for the anecdotes was worth it. But they played what they played, and suddenly I'd get these chills sort of doing my version of a song that they played, and there they are playing my version of it, and it was quite emotional sometimes, things going full circle.
Yeah, but the magic was sort of back again.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I mean, it's a great album, but it's worth buying just for the picture for the picture on the cover.
Plastic flowers, net curtains. You don't get those anymore.
Well, to be fair, it's the hair that we're focusing on, not on the plastic flowers or the hair. There was.
I'm trying to take the emphasis off the hair. See, I did have hair once. People think I was like this all my life. But
very quickly, Phil, before we let you go, get back to your bed. We have to mention that, don't we? That's really all it has to have to say.
Really, yeah.
That picture.
That's when I had more hair. Yeah, we did very well with that. I mean, I had nothing to do with it apart from writing a song 30 years ago, 40 years ago, and the gorilla did the rest. Yeah. Good luck to him.
It made me want to buy chocolate, so,
We all bought the album as well before we bought the chocolate, by the way. Is there anybody who doesn't own it?
No.
Phil, great meeting you. Thanks
nice
very much indeed.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much indeed for coming in. So, the